get in a little more practice with parsing by parsing the cartoons for stage 7. If you log into your webbook for the Cambridge course online, then you'll be able to see these cartoons in your webbook online as well for stage 7. But you can look at them on the screen with me for now. We're going to choose a few words in these sentences to parse together. Let's look at these first two. Amicus caecilium visitabat, villam intravit. The friend was visiting Caecilius. He entered the house. Notice that there isn't a separate subject in this second sentence. Amicus is in the first sentence, the friend was visiting Caecilius. But in the second sentence, we have to gain the he, the friend, he, from our verb, the T ending. Villam intravit. He entered the house. We know it wasn't the house doing the entering, villam, because it's in the accusative case, am ending. From this sentence, let's parse amicus and also villam. Now remember, when we're parsing nouns, looking for gender, masculine, feminine, or neuter, number, singular or plural, case, nominative, accusative, ablative, and the syntax. Why is the word in that case? When I look at our first word, amicus, I notice right away the us ending. That indicates to me second declension and a masculine word. So amicus is masculine. I can also notice in the picture that there is only one friend visiting Caecilius, but I also know that the us ending is singular, and my verb is also singular, so I know that amicus is singular. Us is the nominative ending for the second declension, so amicus is masculine, singular, nominative. And the nominative shows the subject in a sentence, so the syntax is the subject. Our next word, villam, is in the second sentence, villam intravit. Now, when I look at the word villam and I see that am ending, I notice the a and recognize that villam is a first declension word. And I know that almost every word in the first declension, with only a few exceptions, are feminine. So villam is feminine. I also know that am is a singular ending. Villam is singular. And noticing again the am, the accusative ending. So villam is feminine, singular, accusative. The accusative in a sentence shows us the object, he entered what? The house. So my syntax is object. Let's turn to our second panel. Caecilius amicum expectabat, amicum salutavit. Again, what is our subject in the second sentence? What is the subject of salutavit? I know amicum, with its ending, is not nominative, so it can't be the subject. I have to get my subject again from the T. Caecilius was waiting for his friend. He greeted his friend. Caecilius, he greeted his friend. Let's parse in this sentence Caecilius. Noticing my us ending, I right away recognize Caecilius is masculine, singular, and just like in amicus, Caecilius is nominative, the subject of the sentence. Let's continue. Amicus cum Caecilio canabat, canam laudavit. The friend was dining with Caecilius. He praised the dinner. Looks like a pretty dinner, I think. In this sentence, let's parse Caecilio and also canam. Now, I remember from the previous sentence that Caecilius is masculine, and of course he is also a man. And looking at my O ending, I know that it is singular. But it isn't nominative, it's not Caecilius, and it isn't accusative, it's not Caecilium or amicum, that ending. In fact, Caecilio is ablative. When do we use the ablative case? Well, notice that there is a preposition right before caecilio, cum, meaning with. So caecilio is in the ablative because it is with a preposition. Kenam, I notice the A and therefore know that kenam is feminine. The am ending indicates to me that it is both singular and also accusative. And when a word is in the accusative, I know that it is the object, the direct object, in the sentence. Kenam is feminine, singular, accusative, the object. Amicus poculum inspexit, vinum gustavit. The friend inspects the glass. He tastes wine. Let's parse vinum. I notice the um ending, but I need to know one more thing about the word vinum. It looks second declension, and in fact it is. However, unlike many second declension words, this is in fact a neuter word. Remember that gender is inherent to each noun and something we just have to know and learn for each word when we memorize our vocabulary. Is a singular ending, and I can tell from the sentence, he tasted the wine, and from the ending, that it is accusative. Just like kenam, accusative shows the direct object in a sentence. Amicus poculum hausit, tum fabulam narravit. The friend drained the cup. Then he told a story. Poculum hausit is an idiomatic expression in Latin. You don't translate it exactly, perfectly into English, word for word. Let's parse amicus and also fabulum. Amicus is a word we've seen several times before. That us ending tells us that it is masculine, singular, and also nominative. And when a word is nominative, we know that it is the subject of the sentence. The friend drained the cup. Fabulam, again I see that am ending. It is feminine, singular, and accusative. And when a word is accusative, we know it is the object of a sentence. Then he told a story. Caecilius plausit, Euge dixit. Caecilius applauded. Hooray, he said. Let's try parsing a few verbs for our last sentences. Remember, when we parse a verb, we need the person, first person, second person, third person, the number, singular or plural, and the tense, present, imperfect, or perfect. Amic optimum vinum biberent, tandem surrexerent. Our two verbs here are biberent and surrexerent. I look at my ending for biberent and see that nt ending. That indicates to me that it is a they verb. They is third person, plural. The friends drank the best wine. When I move a little further into my verb, I see the errant ending. That indicates to me that it isn't present tense. I don't see a ba, it's not imperfect tense. It is, in fact, perfect. So biberent is third person, plural, perfect, active indicative. Next, let's look at surrexerent. I see the nt ending, which again indicates to me that this is a they verb, which means third person and plural. I see the errant and also an x, both of which indicate to me that this verb is also perfect tense. Third person, plural, perfect, active indicative. At last, they were excuse me, I misspoke. At last, they got up. Servi in atrio stabant, ianoam aperuerant. Our two verbs in these sentences, stabant and aperuerant. The slaves were standing in the atrium. They opened the door. Let's look at stabant first. I see that nt ending, which tells me it's they, the slaves, were standing, so I know it's third person and plural. When I look for the tense, I see the ba, which indicates to me right away it is imperfect. Third person plural imperfect. Apparuerant has that nt, that third person plural ending, and when I move a little further, I see both a u and also that errant ending, both indicating the perfect tense. Third person plural perfect. Let's look at our last cartoon. Caecilius et amicus vale dixerunt, amicus iuilla discessit. Caecilius and his friend said goodbye. The friend left from the villa. Our two verbs here are dixerunt and discessit. Dixerunt, similar to the verbs we've just seen, has that nt, third person plural, they said. I see the x and also the errant, both of which tell me this is a perfect verb. Third person plural perfect, active indicative. Our last verb is discessit. No nt on this verb, just a t, so I know it is also third person, but not plural this time, singular. He, friend, left from the house. Now there's no x or v to indicate to me that this is perfect tense this time, but I do see the it, which helps me to know, and I know that disces is the perfect stem for the verb, so I know this is also perfect tense. Keep practicing parsing on your own and continue through this lesson for more opportunities to practice. Let me know if you have any questions.